ECB's Lane says the speed of the adoption of AI will be key for the euro economy. So ECB's chief economist Lane currently speaking in Frankfurt. ECB's Lane
All
says the
right.
length of the war will determine the shock to the euro economy.
All right, folks, let's get started. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trader Room Plus. The market opens. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All right, first things first, watching crude. Crude is now above 90. It's bullish today. It's really been up and down, up and down. If you look at the daily chart, and we can go back into February, and then in the beginning of March, it went up to 109, I believe. Big spike up, and it's been bullishly
Al Jazeera said the
consolidating
Iranian
for a
foreign
couple
ministry
of
spokesman
weeks
says the naval blockade of
easily.
Iranian ports continues to be in place. It's an aggressive measure.
There was some ship that was attacked in the Strait today, so that's pushing crude up. It doesn't change the fact that we've decided not to be trading the 9 o'clock open because it just hasn't been that effective. So I think I'm going to restart. Let me restart my Ninja. I don't like the behavior I'm seeing. Hang on. Everybody go to your time.is. Do the normal things you're supposed to do. Make sure your computer's in sync, right? All right. So we're a little bit early. I'm watching oil at the moment. We've got our RTY on the right. So let's start all the way on the right. We'll put a reverse continue on the RTY. Reverse continue. Change the breakout to a reverse continue. Just one position with a 35 tick target. 35 stop. RTY. and we'll label it RTY reverse continue. Apply it, okay it, and then we'll put chart trader on that particular account. And might as well put our range trade on the RTY, get ready for the open. Strategy, news trader. If you're going to set up the range trade manually, click range trade so that your trade type is a range trade. I'm going to load the template. So I have a range trade template that I saved. And that range trade. So you're going to go down to range trade, go down to optional and uncheck show vertical line on entry. Turn that off. Uncheck it. Then you're going to start the range at 925.00. 925.00. 6 ticks above the range, 6
According
ticks
to a
below
poll,
the
the
range.
Fed are to cut the Fed funds rate at least once this year, according to
Then
71
you're
of
going to end the
103
range at
economists. So the poll says that the US
930.00.
Federal Reserve are to hold the
Position
Fed
1 is
funds
a
rate at
1,
3.5 to
position 2 is a
3.75%
1.
range through September.
Target 1 is 10,
That was
target
according to
2 is
56 of
20.
103 economists.
The stop is 35, and
The
if it
poll also
hits the
notes that
first
US
target
PCE inflation is to average
using target 1
3.7% in the
stop
second
move, I'm going
quarter,
to go to break even.
3.4% in the third quarter, then
BE.
3.2% in the fourth quarter. Those numbers are up from the March poll. We saw 3.3, 3.1, and 2.9 respectively.
And I'm going to label it RTY range and trade it. I trade this in a funded account. Apply it, okay it. So our range trade is ready to go, and looks like a magnet might make sense on the RTY this morning. We'll put a magnet on. High of day, low of day. One contract, -3 on the target. That's default. 35 on the stop. Everything else is default. I'm leaving it all alone on default for this morning. Label it RTY magnet under the label, RTY magnet, and then everything gets the same account. You're not trading them all at the same time. That's the important thing to realize. These are possible setups you're going to use, right? Possible setups you're going to use. Why do you put them all on the same account? Because you don't want to be fumbling around changing accounts during an open. You just don't have time. It's not possible, right? You're not going to have time to do that. Now, I'm not really trading magnets on the RTY at the moment. If I were, I would adjust my orders a little bit for some profit. But I'm just going to watch the high of day, low of day on off. I don't want my signals on the chart at the moment. I have a range trade and I have a reverse continue. All right. And I'm not trading the RTY until the open. Now on crude, my crude chart looks weird. It does look a little strange this morning. Oh, that's because I left it on daily. Sorry. There we go. Now it looks normal. Crude looks like it's going to do a test of the high. Like I said, there is some war action going on in the Strait, or at least a little bit of ship attacking, it seems, by Iran, if you trust the news. So that's a possibility. So we're probably going to get a test. Here comes the test of the high. I don't even have time to trade it. It's happening right now. Always check what account you're on so you don't accidentally do something you don't want to be doing. So I have a funded account that I thought I blew it up. and apparently it's active. And I've been trading it. I traded it yesterday to make sure it's active. So I'm just a little bit surprised that it is active. I thought it was blown up, very honestly. So I'm watching it, trading it very carefully because it's close to being blown up. But I'll trade it on the MNQ open. That's what I'll do with it. Now, crude, unfortunately, we missed. If we would have gotten here early, we might have had a great VWAP trade. I believe there would have been a great long signal if you put a magnet on oil. High of day, low of day. Just default. One position, let's say a 25 stop. Everything else pretty much default. Now you can program the buttons. Position 1, the reverse continue. One position, 30 tar stop, and a 30 target. That's fine. And you can also program the signal. Position 1 is a 1, target 30, stop 30. That's all you have to do to program the buttons. The ARS enter now button and the long reverse, short long reverse. Label it CL magnet. Labeling is very important. And then obviously you're going to choose what
Iran's
account you
Press TV on
traded
X
on.
says that Iran's Iron Fist in the Strait of Hormuz says ships belonging to the Israeli regime have been seized.
Now, if you turn on the magnet, it's like I said, we had a fantastic signal. Now, I don't really see, you're getting a signal for high of day, low of day, because it just made a new high, new low. You don't want those signals on when you're just making new highs and new lows. They get in the way. All right? They're annoying. And that's why you can turn them off. But I'm not going to trade. I think we've already missed the crude move. It looks like we've missed the crude move. That was the move. And it took place a little bit before we got here. Perfect signal. That was a great signal this morning off the VWAP.
Interfax, citing Russia's Deputy PM Novak, says Russia are to redirect Kazakh oil transit from May the 1st, and that Russia can increase a pipe gas supply
All
to
right.
Turkey.
Just carefully watching right now. In the middle, the YM. Let's put our reverse continue on the YM. YM reverse continue. We'll do one position today with a target of 35 and a stop of 35. Excuse me. And label it YM reverse continue. And right now I'm going to apply it. I have to figure out where am I trading my YM reverse continue. I think
Iran's
I have to be
UN
careful.
spokesperson says, "We have made it clear that if we conclude that going to Islamabad is in our national interest, we will go there, but as of now, no decision has been made yet."
We can trade it funded or YM reverse continue. We'll put unfunded. and it's labeled YM reverse continue. Let's make sure we have our charts on the right charts. All right, so, and we'll also put our magnet on the YM, morning magnet, high of day, low of day. Now, I'm not trading it this early, but I'm watching it. One position, standard target, 3 ticks before it gets to the magnet, 35 tick stop, and we'll label it YM magnet. And we'll also do that in 67. So our YM is labeled. So we have a YM magnet, apply it, okay it. Let's turn off the reverse continue. We'll put the magnet on first. We're nice and far from our order entries at the moment. Don't forget, you can hover over the button to see your order entry, the magnet entry button. Hover over it and it shows me my buy is at 12, and it's about a 17 tick target. And my sell, I'm going to put my sell under 20, and my sell is about a 20 tick target. And right now I'm certainly watching the PP and the VWAP, because that's like a double magnet. And it might be interesting. We'll watch the price action, see what's tradable. Right now on oil, we do have a magnet, right? I suppose we should put a reverse continue on oil real quick. We'll watch the open for a minute. Reverse continue, one position, 25 tick target, 25 tick stop. Label it CL reverse continue. And we're on account number 40 on that. The question is, do we want to trade the oil breakout? I think that oil is going to move. I don't know what oil is going to do. Right now, there's bullish behavior because of what's going on in the Strait. The one thing we know is the breakout has not been a very good event to trade overall. I mean, yesterday it would have worked, at least the first target, but it's been the first one in a while that really looked good. It has not been a great event to trade. It's not that oil is untradeable, it's that you have to pick your times very carefully when you're going to trade oil. Now, if we had gotten here at 8:15, maybe, it would have been a little bit quick to jump into a trade the minute you got here. I mean, it only would have been 7 minutes that we would have gotten here to take that long. Now, it was an interesting long to take, though, because of everything that's going on in the Gulf. Let's make sure all the charts are set on the right charts. So oil, we're on account 40. RTY, we're on funded account 66. So you want to make sure your chart trader is on that account. And then on the YM, we're on funded account 67. So you want to make sure, if you're on the wrong account, you will not see your orders, okay? You won't see your orders if you're on the wrong account. That's a pain. Right now, the markets, they were bullish, but I think there's some negativity from news being introduced into the markets right now. But there's no denying that these are extremely difficult markets to trade. You don't have to jump into trades if you're not ready or if you're
The effective
confused,
Fed fund rate
if
is
you're not
unchanged
sure
at
what the direction is.
3.64% for
There is
21st of
no
April.
rush, okay? There's no law that says, oh, I must trade right now because we're here. Sometimes we're just not going to have a trade. Now, trading that PP and the VWAP, we were pretty close to them, only 20 ticks away. So it's an opportunity that when you're that close, it's very difficult to set up a trade. You need to have distance so that you can get a feel for trending price action, whether or not you want to allow the trade to fill. So don't feel. Now here's the oil open. If you notice, virtually nothing happened on it very much. It did move down a little bit. Did move down a little bit there. What I was saying is, you want to have a little bit of space between your setup and the price action. If you're too close, then you don't have enough profit to take a trade. Because we were very close to the VWAP, when we started looking at it. So it's not like you missed a fantastic opportunity. We just weren't ready to trade yet. That happens. And there will be a ton of other tests during the day. It's the nature of it. There will be a lot of tests. And you have to be mindful of, right now, the indices are bullish because the ceasefire is still theoretically in effect. So there is a fair amount of bullishness in the markets also. And then notice there was not a lot of follow through on our oil trade, right? So we watched, I'm going to go to my normal MNQ charts. You have to be careful about jumping into shorts. Just looking at the YM on a longer time frame just for fun. So, you look at the YM on a 15-minute chart and it's war choppy. You know what I mean? It's like you go back to 1 in the morning or 11 at night and it was moving down. Then it looks like there was an announcement of some sort overnight that pushed the index up. It hung around at the high till 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And it's in a very tight range also. If you notice, the range is not huge today. So it made new highs, 8 o'clock. Then that news came through about ship in the strait. And now there is a push, there's that negative tone that was put in the market. But it means you could just see how it's not so easy to decide, well, what is our direction? It could go any direction this morning, it seems. So right now we're watching and waiting. I'm watching and waiting for the open, really. The best trades are at and around the open. You get the movement that we need. So short, and we're pretty far.
Canada's
So
finance
how many
minister
ticks
LeBlanc
are
says
we? So
there's some indication that the
520,
US wants to preserve the trilateral deal. So
520,
he's speaking on
80.
the
We're
USMCA here.
95 ticks away from the current price. We're 95 ticks away from the current
And LeBlanc
price.
adds that the American preference was
Absolutely
to begin talks
attainable
bilaterally.
for a market open short. All right, we could easily see the YM drop through the low. It's possible. It's possible. Now, there was a long VWAP signal. So if you took that signal, your stop would be about 8 ticks below the VWAP. Maybe even it should be below the PP, but we'll say for now it's below the VWAP, right? So if you're 8 ticks below the VWAP, let's say you're 90. It's not that big a stop. It's 35 tick stop. 35 tick stop to go long here. Now, it's not my favorite time to take a trade. We're waiting for the open. All right. It's manageable in terms of risk, but I'm more interested this morning waiting for the open. Now, we did have a nice Boeing trade. Anybody that traded Boeing with us this morning made money trading Boeing. It was a very nice trade. It was easy, it was painless. So, oil, I'm pretty much done with oil at the moment. You're getting a little bit of a pullback on oil right now. There was a signal off of the high. It's not as big a signal as it looks like because you wouldn't have gotten in till somewhere in this area. It's a very tiny profit right now. It may get bigger. It may get bigger depending on where the price goes. Let's say you got in somewhere around here, which is reasonable. You don't have very much profit, honest. Very little. 7 ticks at the moment. And it's disappearing. Because I do think oil is bullish because of the news in this strait. What's the difference between ARS high of day, ARS VWAP? They're just different indicators. VWAP is they're different locations. One is the high, so you get signals around the high and the low, and the VWAP is this indicator. And if it tests the VWAP, it'll start generating signals. See, this price tested the VWAP. It's got to get 3 ticks close to it. Okay? 3 ticks close to it. If it gets within 3 ticks of the VWAP and then changes momentum, that's one of our criteria. It will possibly generate a long signal in the momentum direction. That's what happened here. It tested the VWAP. So normally the signals I like to use are the VWAP because the VWAP signals are very reliable. And I love high of day, low of day signals also. Does that make sense? But you have to test the area first. So the ARS is after a magnet trade has finished. It's a second setup. So the first thing that normally would happen is you take a trade or you watch a testing of an area. Once that area gets tested or your trade ends, then you're looking for a directional change and whether or not you should take the signal. That's the hardest decision, is should you take a signal? The stop should be placed roughly 8 ticks below or above the test indicator. So if you're a high of day and you get a short, your stop should be 8 ticks above the high of day. If you get a long, your stop should be 8 ticks below, roughly. Not 1 or 2 ticks. All right? It should be more than 1 or 2. All right, let's change our oil, turning off my oil at the moment. Oil is going to go to MNQ. Now, something obviously just happened. Something just happened. Now, you know RD, there is a video. Something just happened, news-wise. Hang on. I'm not seeing anything.
Canada's Trade Minister LeBlanc says Section 232 tariffs are likely to remain, but adjustments are possible.
Not really seeing anything that would have caused that pop. All right, MNQ. So first things first, I'm getting rid of my, going to modify my oil reverse continue, and we'll make it an MNQ reverse continue because it's already on the chart. So we'll do a couple of contracts, a 75 tick target and a 75 tick stop. And we'll label it MNQ reverse continue. And where am I going to trade my MNQ this morning? Let me just think for a second. I think we'll keep our MNQ right where it is on 40. MNQ reverse continue. And then our MNQ magnet, we do it on a high of day, low of day. We'll see where everything is set up. And we'll do a stop of 100. MNQ is only 50 cents a tick. Our target is -3. I'll do a quick signal program. Position 1 is a 2. And our target will be 75 and our stop will be 75. That's if we use the signal button, ARS enter now. And our reverse continue, I'll do a 2-position trade. The stop 75, target 1 will be 30, target 2 will be
Zing from one
75.
Jesse Rodriguez, who's an MS Now reporter on X, saying that
Target
despite
1
high levels
stop
of mistrust on
move
both sides,
goes to
mediators and
break
other people
even
familiar with the
if it
talks
hits the
say that the
first
two sides
target.
have been engaging in ideas that could point to possible
And we're going to label
compromises
that
around core
MNQ
issues of the
magnet.
Iran nuclear program. They say
And
the
we're
two
in
sides are
account
getting
number
closer to a
40.
framework that would include basic understanding of curbing Iran's
So we can
enrichment,
turn on our
quoting Wall Street
MNQ
Journal for that
magnet.
particular part.
So you're getting a lot of VWAP signals. When you're consolidating around the VWAP, you will get some false signals. I'm working with the programmer on ways to filter. Not sure there's much you can do. Well, I'm not going to say. I'm working with the programmer. We're always working on making the signals better. There is a very simple filter you can use on the MNQ and then the magnet filtering. By the way, I never finished what I was saying. There is a magnet master class. It is on YouTube and I think it's public. I don't know. Maybe I didn't make it public. The link for the magnet master class. Everybody should watch the video because it truly teaches how to use the magnet. Let me find the link. Hang on. When did we do that class? Not that long ago. Give me 1 second. I'll find it. Okay. Now, this link might have the sale in it, which is a pain in the butt. I've made a magnet masterclass where I took our sale out of it. So let me do this the right way. Let me search for it. It won't take long. Got it. Okay, here we go. Francis, I do think it's announcements being made about the war. That's what I think is causing those moves. That's what I think. That's what I think. Um, Author, in all honesty, any changes or any suggestions, the best thing to do is email them. I can't even think about them during the day when I'm in the room. So honestly, I'm open to any suggestions, but you got to email them because it's just rolling off my back, if you know what I mean. I was telling you how you can filter. So very quickly, the MNQ, looking at the magnet, there's a real simple way to filter signals. Highlight the strategy, scroll to ARS, scroll to aftershock reversal. Make trending bars a 2 instead of a 1. You will really significantly change the number of signals most of the time. So let's just see, what did this give us? 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back down to aftershock, put it back to 1, and we have 5. All right, 6. We did filter the short, so you can make it a
STV
3
citing
also, then
Iran's
you'll
Islamic
really,
Revolutionary
really
Guard Corps
reduce the
says we are
signals.
ready for immediate and decisive confrontation with any enemy's
Me
threat and
personally,
repetition of
I
aggression.
like to do is currently I like to do less filtering, but it's truly because I'm still working on filters. I'm still working on it. It truly is a act in progress. Trending bars 3. Watch what happens on 3. No signals because you need to get 3 bars in a row with certain behavior. 2 is better. Otherwise, there's just too much filtering. It's just too much. You'll still get signals, but they're much less common. And this is what I need to talk to the programmer about because I think I have to make an appointment with him. This is what I have to do. Anyway, turning off filtering for the moment. Just going default, which is number 1. I want to get our trades set up on the MNQ. Trending bars is a 1. That's our default at the moment. Now, just whatever is going on on the MNQ, we never set up our breakout. That still has to be set up. There's news going on, I'm telling you. Revolutionary Guards ready for immediate and decisive confrontation with any enemy threat. Now, the YM, I did not trade the high of day. I could turn it on if I wanted to. It's still, to me, it's a little bit early. It's a little bit early. It's 10 minutes before the open. I just let it turn on, but I didn't trade it. I didn't trade it yet. I might be sorry. It looks like it wants to test that high.
Order submitted.
Let's see if it'll pop up. So just a little tiny baby trade.
Trump says
little
Iran
tiny
talks are
baby
possible
trade.
as soon as Friday. So again, New York Post saying,
All right.
Citing Trump as saying the Iran talks are possible as soon as Friday.
What's happening is Trump said Iran talks possible Friday, so that's what caused that pop. That pop's done. All right. I wouldn't trade that pop now. I already chased it. I would not trade it now. Put the magnet back on. Right now I'm going to leave it on off for a minute or two. And we want to set up our reverse continue on the MNQ. Sorry, on our breakout. Let's load our breakout template. Load our breakout template. So go to template, MNQ load, MNQ load, looking for MNQ new. Right click it, rename it. Today is the 22nd. Load it. And our setup is 9:29:59. Right now the time is set to 0 because we're going to check the bracket.
ECB's Lane says, I doubt
35
we'll have clarity
bracket.
on the Iran war by next week.
Targets of 40 and 100. Using a slightly bigger stop today, 150. Targets of 40 and 100. It's already labeled. Right now I'm on sim. If it hits the first target, target 1 stop move is break even. So our bracket's 35. Target 1 is 40. Target 2 is 100. Stop is 150. Target 1 stop move is BE. All right, break even. The time is 0 because I want to look and see the bracket management. So we'll put our charts on sim, turn on the breakout.
Order submitted.
And we have nice brackets.
Order canceled.
Right click on our breakout. Put the time now to 9:29. That's our correct trigger time. One more time, the bracket's 35. Target of 40, target of 100, break even on the target 1 stop move, and a stop loss of 150. Putting it on account number 40 is where we're trading this morning. So all our MNQs are on 40. Now I'm not yet really trading the magnet. Let me change the order in which I put these on. MNQ reverse continue. MNQ magnet is on 40. And our breakout MNQ. So I'm putting the magnet on first. MNQ magnet. Then we'll put on our MNQ breakout and our MNQ reverse continue. 40, 40, and 40. Double checking our YM. 67. and double checking our RTY 66 on our RTY. Let's check out our RTYs. RTY, everything is 66. So we're pretty much ready to go. The YM, we already traded the high of day. Do you want to trade it again on the open? I would if the price would drop a little bit more. It needs to drop more because otherwise it's going to fill before the open. I'm not sure I want it to fill again before the open. We already had a little bit of a trade. I like to wait for the open now. That's what I prefer. Now our RTY range is drawing. RTY range is drawing. So we're going to have a breakout on the MNQ. We have a range on the RTY. You know what we didn't look at this morning? Gold at 9 o'clock. We didn't look at gold. Did anybody look at gold at 9? It was lousy at 9. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about 8 o'clock gold. I don't like 8 o'clock. It's too much news, too many days. So the question is whether you want to go in early on your YM. It's going to fill now, I think. I think the YM is going to fill early. That's what I think. Now the MNQ might burst up for a magnet also. MNQ looks like it wants to test the high also.
Order submitted.
Now the stop, you got to put it below, at least below the previous candle. It's got to be below the previous candle.
1 minute now until we get the market on open imbalance.
Moving the stop to safety. So now our opening trade cannot be a loser. It cannot lose. If it goes up, we're going to have a big winner. If it just pulls back now before the open, then we'll have a small winner. If it keeps going up, I
Order
don't want to,
filled.
so I move the stop, so it's $100. I'll take it because I was manipulating the early trade. Now, maybe I was too tight on it. I might have been too tight. It's possible. But I traded the open. I'm not going to trade another
10
magnet
seconds.
on the open. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Order submitted.
Market on open imbalance. S&P 500 buy side 320 million. Nasdaq 100 flat. Dow 30 buy side 60 million. Mag 7 flat as well.
Order
All
filled.
right, we hit our first target on the RTY, trailing, trying to expand the target, trailing. I got too close, going up. Normally I don't
Order
manage.
filled.
Normally I don't manage the RTY trade. I managed it because I saw it was I was done with my other trade. Now my MNQ, we got filled. No, and it looks MNQ's been struggling, I think. Now I'm turning off my YM, not my MNQ anything, my RTY range. The RTY range is done. RTY range is done. MNQ's been struggling all week. It really has been the weakest of all the trades. RTY's been holding up. It's been holding up nicely. YM, we manipulated it, and actually it worked out. It worked out. MNQ is chopping quite a bit. Chopping quite a bit. If it'll make a new high or get close, then we'll get our first target. But it looks like it's struggling. It's just struggling. It feels heavy. It does feel heavy, unfortunately. I'm just
Boeing
watching the
shares jumped
MNQ getting ready to
4.6% at the
stop
open
out.
following their
Order
Q1
filled.
results this morning.
So again,
US listed shares of Alibaba are up
MNQ is
1.1% as
not,
well after reports
it's
that the
just
company is in
not
talks to
giving
invest in
us
DeepSeek at
good
$20
follow
billion
through.
valuation.
It's not giving us good follow through. You know, I'm tempted to take it short, but I know I'm just going to get stuck after it hits the VWAP. So I'm not going to jump in. It's not a funded account. I'm not trading it right now in a funded. Two funded accounts. RTY was a profit. YM was a profit. MNQ, not a profit. It's been very whippy. Very whippy. And thinking about really reevaluating the setup maybe this weekend. Not happy with the setup. If you put the magnet on, right now you can put your signals on high of day, low of day. The VWAP would have been the right trade really this morning. You can MNQ might, when it's giving us trouble as a breakout, we might look to magnets. It has such large swings that we might look to VWAP magnets on the MNQ. We might have the best setup. I'm reading what everybody is typing. RTY, Francis, good trading there. Yeah, the NQ's been really rough, Nitin. It's been rough on the breakouts. NQ, MNQ, both difficult. The markets are tough this week, I think, because of the news, the war news. It makes it difficult. We're not getting, look at the size of the candles on the YM. That's very, very big candles. Now, look, my charts are spread a little bit, but still, those are big, whippy candles, even on the RTY. Now, remember, my favorite signals are when they're very close to the magnet. In other words, this signal, I like it when it's right on the magnet, like here, right on the magnet. Now, I didn't take this signal. I don't chase signals. So for me, I feel late on this signal. Maybe we're going to get a VWAP test. But I'm just going very conservative on my funded accounts. That's the way you wind up getting paid. You can get paid if you are very conservative. Roz, what setup did you use on your RTY? What setup? Now, do you guys want to stick around and we'll stick around for the oil report, or does everybody want to go? If you want to stick around for the oil report, I'll put on regular prop accounts and maybe do some scalping, but not on my funded accounts. You guys tell me. If enough people want to stay, I'll stay for the oil report, which is at 10:30. You guys tell me. Francis, you'll stay. If a few people want to stay, I'll stay. I mean, the oil report's on the schedule. It is on the schedule. Francis, you're the only one. No one wants to stay. All right, so we're just hanging at the VWAP on the MNQ. Just hanging at the VWAP. If it goes to the high, I would let it fill. I'd let the magnet fill for the high. So on my YM, I'm just going to change to a scalping account, a non-funded account. Let me see where I want to go. Let me try something. 39 on the YM. Let me see if I can. YM on 39. YM reverse continue. And YM magnet. And
Fox
then
News reporting that Iran has threatened to hit recent power plants if US strikes escalate.
YM magnet. YM reverse continue. And then our RTY, I don't like scalping the RTY, so I'm going to change my RTY to MGC 0626. I like watching gold very much. Now, gold, interesting open. It did go down on the open quite a bit. Oh boy, Roz. Micro gold. Let me look for an account. Where do I want to trade micro gold? We'll put that on 40. So we don't need our range. We're done with the range, but we have a reverse continue. We'll set up a couple of contracts. And we'll do a 50 tick target with a 50 tick stop. And I got to check, make sure what account I want to trade that in. MGC, reverse continue, and then MGC magnet, label it MGC, choose the account. I have to choose the account, make sure I know what account I want to trade that in. $50. All right, let me see, make sure I know what account I want to trade my gold in. I guess 40 we're working on 40. Let's keep working on 40. It's just micros. So it's already on that magnet, reverse continue. Now I haven't been watching gold all morning, so I would not rush. I won't rush into a trade because I do not have a sense of how gold's moving today. I don't rush. Anyway, I'm not a rush trade rusher. Okay? I'm not a trade rusher. Now the YM, there was a decent signal. The YM can definitely do a high of day, low of day again. $92 on the sell. Sorry, 29 on the sell. 95 on the targets. That's a pretty decent profit. Just watching right now. I'm not rushing into anything. I would trade the MNQ if it got to the magnet, but you see it's really just chopping around the VWAP. I really feel like we don't have a super strong trend anywhere. Got the YM big candles. Gold, just going back in time a little bit. A lot of VWAP hanging around. Gold looks like it may be wanting to make a new high. Maybe. It's still pretty far. It's far. It's trading off the VWAP. It's trading off the VWAP. So I'm just watching. I'm not, I have one trade that if the MNQ bursts to the high, probably should have taken that VWAP signal. I still think the MNQ is bullish. But then you think about, look what the YM's doing. The YM's just selling off. It has sold off. It made a new high. It's over 120 points. It's more than 100 points down. But I'm not going to chase anything this morning. I'm just being really careful. IBM is today. IBM and Tesla are later.
Tasnim saying that Iran has not yet decided to hold talks on Friday.
Now they're saying Iran
This
hasn't
is coming
agreed to
after
hold
the New York
talks.
Post article citing Trump as saying that Iran talks are possible as soon as Friday. Tasnim, citing Iran in response, said that Iran has not yet decided to hold
So
talks
there
on
seems
Friday.
to be disagreement as to whether or not talks are definitive for Friday. Iran has not yet decided to hold discussions on Friday. That I'm seeing come across the wire. See, my feeling is that we missed the MNQ, the best trade. The best trade was there. Same thing with gold. Same thing with gold. We missed the best signal. Why was the short signal not so great? VWAP signals, when you have a very bullish instrument, I would ignore the opposite direction until you're sure there's a new trend being made. So it was not that great a signal because you were over $40 bullish on gold. Now I'm going to let this magnet fill,
The
even
White
though
House to
it's
Fox News to say
risky.
Trump extended the Iran ceasefire for 3 to 5 days. So again, this is the White House speaking to Fox, saying that Trump extended the Iran ceasefire for 3 to 5 days.
Now Trump is saying he extended the ceasefire for 3 to 5 days. I think everyone thought it was another 2 weeks. Right? Nice knitting. Nice scalping. What'd you trade it on? What'd you trade it on? NQ. Now, do you want to take another YM magnet to the high side? I think you have a lot of risk that the markets may struggle to make new highs again. I'm going to heat my coffee while we watch. I'll be right back, all right? I'm going to heat my coffee. You don't have to trade, folks. If you made a little bit of money in the morning, you could just chill. You could watch, build up your funded accounts. We have YM up, NQ down, Russell, gold up, but maybe changing now. There's just no rush. There's no rush. YM looks like it does want to make that high. What do you think? What do you think? I'd rather it pull back now, so I'm not tempted to take it. All right, I'm heating the coffee. Be right back.
So keep in mind, in 10 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we get the Eurozone Consumer Confidence April flash read. Forecast minus 17.2 on the prior minus 16.3. We'd also expect US Treasury Secretary Bessent to testify to Congress, as well as US Trade Representative Greer, as well, who's testifying on trade policy.
All right. You can all hear me? So you got a VWAP MNQ short, but you have to think the MNQ is still bullish on the day. You don't have to jump into a short here. You can take the short if you were going to take it. Remember, I don't remember if I programmed the buttons or not. So I would take the short if I were going to take it from the
Order
reverse
submitted.
continue. See if we get the opportunity to move our stop to safety. You got to put your stop at least above the previous candle. You have to do that. Okay? You have to do that. So this is why I scalped not in a funded account. I think the risk is extreme. Scalping risk is extreme, okay? It's really difficult, really difficult.
Order filled.
Okay, so I'm just gonna chill. You don't have to rush on a revenge now. I think so. It tells us maybe our concept here is up. Maybe this market is still gonna push up. So that's the only thing I would consider is
Order
take a
submitted.
long for a test. Turn off our magnet. Test for the high below our lowest area, and let's see if we can get that push back up. If everything goes against me, then I will stop trading. Because now, the minute you get in, it's going against me. So clearly, my thinking about scalping is wrong, not working. And you just wait. Now I'd have to wait. If it doesn't work, I would have to wait. So just waiting. Watching the YM. I think the YM, I didn't think the YM would
So
test the
Boeing
high
shares
again,
gains to 1.5%, had been up as much as 5% earlier. Again, they did
but it
print
might.
earnings this morning.
It might. Now, I'm always looking to see if I can get my stop to safety. I'd like to be able to get my stop to safety. You probably want to get a little bit higher than this. All right, we're getting there where we could move it to safety. Expand the target a tiny bit. Trail a little as it keeps going up. The YM is now testing, getting ready to test the high.
Order filled.
So definitely long seems to be the trend. So you can put the magnet back on, right? Put the magnet back on. And now if it gets there, right? You could let it fill or you could go in early if you wanted to go in early.
It's been 5 minutes time now at the top of the hour. We get the Eurozone Consumer Confidence April flash read. Forecast -17.2 on the prior -16.3. We're also expecting testimonies from both U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, who testifies to Congress, as well as U.S. Trade
Notice
Representative
how
Greer
the
testifying on
YM
trade.
so far has not tested the high. It's trying. It's trying. You've got strong momentum. Not very strong volume, though. It's not supported by very interesting volume at the moment. And there goes the YM. It's trying to get there. And it's there. It's a couple of ticks. YM got there. Needs a couple more ticks. Couple more ticks. And looks like it's going to go now.
So we have got the live video for U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent's testimony. It's on the feed for those interested. Again, due to start at the top of the hour.
The smarmiest person in the world, Bessent, is going to testify somewhere. My humble opinion. So MNQ, I don't know about this MNQ. It is brutal. It's brutal to trade. And the YM made it. The YM made that. Well, it's so close. There it is. YM tested it. YM tested it.
We do also have the live video of U.S. Trade Representative Greer's testimony. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern Time as well. Again, they're both on the feed for those interested.
So now I would turn off the signals, high of day, low of day, so they're not in the way. All right. Now the YM's up over 400, so you have to think carefully about whether or not you want to take a short on a momentum change, right? That's a very careful trade. So there will be a short signal on the YM, but the YM is really starting to push now. So I'm going to wait a bit. Now there is this talking going on, so Bessent is talking in front of the Appropriations Committee, and then Greer is testifying before the House Ways and Means.
1 minute remaining for the Eurozone consumer confidence flash, and shortly expecting comments from US Treasury
Now
Secretary
there is
Bessent and Trade
a
Representative Greer.
Eurozone consumer confidence in 45 seconds. Eurozone consumer confidence. So if you turn off the MNQ magnet for a minute, or let's just change to the euro. Okay, the setup, we're just watching. Eurozone consumer confidence. That's what we're looking at. 10 o'clock. 6E 626.
10 seconds.
Order submitted.
Whoa. I
Order
didn't mean to do
canceled.
that. I didn't mean to do that. There's the news. There's the news. All right. There's the news.
Still waiting on data.
It's not out yet. It's not out yet, I'm hearing. Data not out. It's not out. Still not out. Just curious to see what kind of move gets created.
Eurozone consumer confidence flash minus 20 spot 6, minus 20 spot
Very
6,
negative.
lower than forecast,
Minus
17
20.
spot
They were
2.
expecting minus 17.
Let's keep in mind we
We've
are
got a
seeing
minus
leg up
20.
in the S&P 500 here. No reciprocating move in the dollar or oil at the moment. I can't see any headline
Not much of a
features for
move
this immediately.
yet
We're just keeping our eyes out.
from the euro on that news. Just watching. That's all I'm doing is just watching. All right, everyone. You know what I'm going to do? Let's say thank you to everyone on YouTube. I'm going to hang around for oil. We've been streaming for a couple hours on YouTube. Thanks, everyone on YouTube. Quick wrap up. 2 funded accounts made money in both funded accounts. Did not make money on the MNQ Open. That was our wrap up for this morning, and we will be streaming tomorrow. We did make money trading Boeing earnings this morning. Overall, not a bad morning. It was okay. Okay, everyone on YouTube,
So
thank
again,
you.
US
Hit the
stocks are
like
extending
button.
gains here.